my channel. I wanted to show you a quick tutorial on how I made these album cover MemoryDexes. I actually got the idea from two different people. Serena Be Creative on Instagram actually did an album cover with a record, and she gave it, I think she gave it to Love Letter Generations. I saw it on both of their Instagrams, and I just kept that idea in my mind because I loved it so much. It was such a good idea. So thank you, Serena, for that that inspiration and really fun way to make some Happy Mail. And then I happened to be doing something else and saw Lollapalooza Crafts on her Etsy store had this little MemoryDex kind of album sleeve with a record. Now, I didn't use her file, but she does have a cut file. It's only $1, so that's something if you're not wanting to go through this process that I went through, you can head over to her Etsy shop and download that file. But I did mine a little bit different. I just had different dimensions, so that's the only reason I didn't use her file. So anyway, I'll just real quick show you the project, and then I will show you how I cut and scored and give you the measurements, and then at the end it's just a fast forward through how I did each card. So this first one, this is actually the first one I made. Monster Mash. Again, I use the Cartabella paper. I'm gonna flip it over just so you can see. I just love the colors. I love like the check pattern, the polka dots, super cute. Pretty much everything I use, besides the larger piece here, that was some clip art I got online, but the rest of the paper is from that Cartabella collection, and then just the little small stickers came from like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, I don't know for sure where, just different places. So anyway, that's the first one. This is a little cutout from the paper collection, super cute, ghosty. And this card here was a cutout again, and just to separate this card from this, I actually just inked the edges. You could certainly ink the edges of everything. I didn't. I just did these little bigger card, or these little or smaller cards. So anyway, there's that one. Oh wait, let me show you real quick the album. So, oops. So there's an album, and I actually found this online as well. I just did a search for like album covers, Halloween album covers, and a bunch of different ones came up, and so that's where I got this one. And then this is an actual, someone had posted a copy of the actual album, what it looked like, or not the album, but the record. So the smaller ones are called records, the bigger ones are the albums. But anyway, so yeah, so I just kept it simple because it needs to be able to slide in and out, and so I didn't really want to embellish this too much, so I just added a couple of enamel dots and just this really cute word eek. Oops. Dropping that. And then again, there's another one, Halloween Party album, super cute with the big googly eye. I love this image from the paper. This was I think it was like a 3x4 card, and I just fussy cut around it. Just added some little star enamel dots, a little ghosty. And then again, I'll show you the back of that. So, such great paper. I felt bad covering it up. It's like, you know, so I would say you could always make this part a little bit smaller so you could get see your paper better, because, you know, sometimes it's just a shame to cover up the paper. And then I also, on all of them, added this, I just got this at the Target Halloween decoration section, and it was just on a big sheet of this kind of black mesh in their, you know, like their decor area, and just cut some and just kind of hot glued it on there. So everything's pretty much hot glued on. I just like everything to stay, so I don't generally glue it on this type of project. And then there's the album. I mean, I did glue some of these pieces, but whenever I'm doing anything that's kind of a 3D image or raised image, I hot glue it. So try not to make this video too long. And this one here, super cute. So lots of fun elements. Look at the spider, my little googly-eyed bat. I love this. It was a dark and scary night. And again, I inked around. Isn't that a cute? I mean, that's like a cool album cover. Nice and spooky. And then did that one. And if you're wondering where I got these big letters, it was a die. I don't know what I did with my die. I was going to show you guys. Anyway, it was a die, and it came with 3 different words, but I don't know where that came, where I got that at. So that one, and then there's the haunted house. So again, so fun. So I hope you guys like these. I hope you try them out. If you do decide to make some and try this out for Halloween, or really anytime. I was thinking about doing like some Christmas album ones. Please tag me on Instagram because I'd love to see it. So I'm paper dreams and things on Instagram. So, and then there's the back of that paper. And then, and then I'll show you, because you can see it better on this one, or maybe on this one. So I also stitched here on the bottom. So after I put the card together, before I decorated it, I actually just ran this through the sewing machine. I do a straight stitch, and then I turn it, and then I kind of go like wave back and forth, and then I turn it again, and then I wave back and forth. And that just gives that little funky wonky little stitching if you want to recreate that. So, okay, I think I showed you, did I show you that one? Oh yeah, I showed you that one. And then the last one, which I remember this song when I was little, always singing it at Halloween time, super fun. I think we had this actual album. So isn't that cute? And then, I forgot to punch the back of that, so I'll show you that in a second. So there's the album, and this is another one. This was the actual album image that I got online, and that's a little witch from the collection. So adorable. So I'll post these on Instagram as well, so you can get close-up pictures. And then there's the back. And then so just so you see on the back, I actually punched a half circle here. And I'll do that real quick on this one just so you can see. You can do it before you put these together, or after is fine too. It's just a little bit harder if you do it after. Oh, that's the wrong one. So you just kind of center it, and you're not going to go quite halfway down, and then just punch a hole. And then all that does is gives you a little thumb hole to pull it out. So it's not really necessary, but it's just a good idea. So okay, so I'm gonna put those aside, and then I'm just gonna show you how. Oh, you know what? Real quick, I'm gonna show you a couple other things. This is how I found the images online, and then I just dragged and dropped them into my pages on my Mac, and the dimensions on these is I shrunk them down to 3. Sorry, that's not very good writing. 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 inches. So that's the size of those. And then your album, if you find any that you want to reuse, let's see, that is around 3 5/8. You can go slightly bigger. The reason I did 3 5/8 is I actually had a die to cut this out, this circle. So, in order, here, let me show you. In order to do the actual album part, what I did was I cut this part out with a die. So you need to try to find a die that will fit in the dimensions of this card. And I know we're not all gonna have the same one, so I didn't do this on my Cricut or anything. So I cut it out first. Then I used a 2-inch circle punch. That's where I got this part here. And then I had in that same circle die set, it was like a nesting die set. There was the smallest little one cut that size. So it's just a big die cut, and then a punch, and then another die cut. That's how I did it. And then I backed all the albums with another piece of paper, just to make them like sturdier. So on that one I just did plain black. On this one I actually had kind of a sparkly glittery paper. So that just helps it be a little bit more stable. I just wanted it to, just be sturdier. So you could certainly use something thicker if you wanted, but it does need to be able to slide in and out of the sleeve. And then I'll also show you real quick that's the paper collection I used. So it's so stinking cute. Isn't it adorable? I'm not going to open it because this is actually a gift in my giant 12 by 12 sticker sheet, which I used a lot of those. And then those are the cut aparts, and then it comes with 12 double-sided paper. And their paper is very, very good quality, thick paper. So, all right, so let's get started. So what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna put my dimensions here so you guys can see that. I'm just gonna show you how to put together one of them, and then at the end of the video, it just shows me decorating them. So here's your paper. It's gonna be 8.5 by 4, so your short side's 4. You're gonna put it on your scoreboard and you're gonna score it on the long side, and you're scoring at 4. Move that up a little bit. And you're scoring at 8. Super simple. And then you're just going to fold that, burnish it, fold that, burnish it. Okay, so that's it, that's your base. I always do my fold part, that's my front. This could be your front, but I just like that to be my front. So just decide what side you want to be your front. And then your base, so this is the, I'll show you on the back, this is this piece here. This is going to be 3 7/8 by 2.5, okay? And then you're gonna score it on the short side at 1 1/4. That's it. You're gonna fold it, burnish that, and then I have the Heidi Swap MemoryDex punch, and you're going to center it, so it's not gonna be exactly, this right here is I think 4 inches, but we're not doing that, and there's a reason why, so I'll show you that in a minute. So you just go ahead and punch that out, and then you would add your glue that together, and then we'll do that real quick. Do I have my glue right here? Yeah, let me just show you that real quick. So we're gonna add our glue. All right, so then the reason this has to be 3 7/8 is it's actually gonna fit inside here. Can you see that? It's going to actually fit inside. So if you cut it 4 inches, it's not going to fit. So go ahead and put your card together, or your sleeve. This is your album sleeve. And I'm going to just fold that over. All right, so there's your sleeve. And then here, this is only going to be barely in, so it's only going to be in just like about that much. So you just want to put just a bit of glue on each side. Like that. We're going to slide that in, and make sure we're straight. So this is pretty quick drying glue, so but just fiddle with it a little bit. I want to leave quite a bit of space so I can do my sewing there. If you don't want to sew, you certainly don't have to. Most of it gets covered anyway. So that's it. That's your album cover, MemoryDex. And then if you don't have that punch, that's totally okay. So I see a lot of people use the hole punch. You just hole punch 2 holes, and then you're just going to cut little slits out of the paper, and you can have the same type of thing. So this doesn't require any fancy tools. I mean, you can, this part you don't even have to do if you don't want to. It certainly slides in and out fine without. I just think it just adds a little extra. So that's the base, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video, and then you guys will be able to see kind of in a fast forward mode the process and how I decorated most of the cards. Thanks for stopping by.